and welcome to Martlet Games. My name is Sara, and I'm the storyteller for our Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition period chronicle London's Bleeding. I'm so happy to be here once again with this talented group of players and you folks at home. And thank you to everyone for joining us as I tell my very first vampire story. This is episode 5, so please catch our previous episodes on Twitch VOD or on YouTube at the same name of channel, Martlet Games. I promise that you'll want all the information you can get on East London's most unlikely coterie. Speaking of, let's all get acquainted again, starting with Walter.
My name is Ben. I play Walter Price, the gangrel.
Hi, my name is Patrick Gill, and I am playing Rafe the Toreador.
Hi everyone, I'm Samantha McLarty, and I am playing Lillian Crawford, the Ventrue.
And hello, my name is Stephen Rieger, and I am playing Tommy the Malkavian.
Great, thanks again. As a final warning, this is a game for mature audiences and will include dark themes like violence, gore, body horror, war, and other themes. Take care of yourselves above all else. Now let us descend. The ship of Theseus is a metaphysical question of identity in Western philosophy, asking whether or not an object that has all of its components replaced remains fundamentally the same object. Though certainly not objects, but unliving forces of nature, how much human remains in an individual kindred? Their body has not been replaced, but rather destroyed. Cells no longer regenerate. The vampire gains senses and loses others. What remains is but a whisper of a mortal soul, and in time, it is easily crushed by the overwhelming power of the beast. Retaining your humanity is arduous work, and with one slip of a fang, one moment of frenzy or rage, a kindred's progress is undone. And this coterie of Walter the Gangrel, Rafe the Toreador, Lillian the Ventrue, and Tommy the Malkavian stands on a razor's edge. We open back up. It is still December 23rd. It is about 1:30 a.m. now. We left Walter and Lillian up on the cold bridge of the Rotherhithe Tunnel just outside the Thames in East London. They had dealt with some Bloody Fist gang members, sending them to the Old Prospect pub to await further news of their missing companion. And then for Tommy and Rafe, they were in the Nosferatu domain in a cavern that was carved and mined out by the Nosferatu of the city, including their Underprince Brimmer and his number 2 Bollocks. Tommy and Rafe had watched Brimmer unleash his hive of roaches swollen with blood on the Bloody Fist member, who's sort of tied up, gagged in the middle of the room with the entire broken mouth kindred family looking on. So we just open it right back up on that kind of gory, sick scene after Brimmer let his roaches upon this poor soul. So Bollocks is standing there next to him. Brimmer, he had just lifted up his shirt and the roaches crawled out. And the man in the chair is screaming. He's completely lost his composure. He's not even saying words. He's just shrieking. The roaches are probably biting him. They're flying around in his face in a swarm. Brimmer sort of makes a come hither motion and a click of his tongue, and they sort of back off a little bit, but they're still, a good few crawling on him. And Brimmer looks at the man with just utter contempt. And he says, "Now, you gonna tell us what you done tonight?" and what you been doing in East London, and why you're fucking up with all the weak in our city. You're gonna tell me now, and well, I can't promise your safety in it, but perhaps you'll leave here alive. And the man continues to squirm, and he regains just the slightest bit of composure, and he says, "Yeah, okay, yeah, mate. Whatever you want. It's okay. Yeah. What you want to know?" And Brimmer says, "You were on a job tonight, right?" And he says, "And what's your name, boy?" And he says, Clark Everson." And then he just immediately starts to spew this story about the job that they had just done. So he relays in a shaky voice that he went to a merchant on just kind of a ransack burglarizing type of mission, or at least that's what was told to him. And he sort of gets out that first bit. And Brimmer says, "Now, who told you to go and do the job?" And Clark says, I mean, I'm really not supposed to say anything. I really, fuck. It's Duncan Glick. He's the one in charge. He's what told me to do it. Like, I was just, I mean, I got no money, and I thought it'd be a pretty easy job, and I could just get some money. And Bollocks approaches him as he starts to sort of ramble off into unhelpful territory, and he just cold cocks him across the face. And that kind of pushes the last of the shakiness out of him, and he kind of is able to like get himself together to the effect of giving the information more clearly. And Clark says, all right. So we went to the merchant, right? On Duncan said, and it was supposed to be just a robin, like getting the money and all, but there was another person, like he's new to the gang, and we was almost done, right? Like my friends John and Doug, they were outside, and they were keeping watch, and we were almost bloody done. And this when this guy, he just I don't know his name, but he just went crazy. He went mad, like bloody mad. Like he bore down on the merchant, like he was the only guy in the store, and he bared down on the merchant. And I mean, there was all this blood, like so much, like more than I've ever seen in my entire life. And I don't know what happened. It's almost like he's ripping him apart, like his teeth, and like I don't know. I just don't know. He came on the job because of this guy. He's so fucking scary. Fuck, he's gonna beat the shit out of me. I think his name is Downs. His last name is Downs. He's really old bloke. Like, he's this really big guy, and he's got bald head, and he's walking around shirtless, even in winter. It makes no bloody fucking sense. And he kind of then just pauses and takes a couple breaths. And Brimmer says, Downs, Duncan Glick, Clark Everson, John and Doug, what a crew. Oh no, I mean, I assume you're telling us the truth. Otherwise, and you see the roaches like almost make a frame around Clark. not touching him, but just flying around them. It's completely uncanny and unnatural.
Storyteller, do any
yeah.
of those names ring any bells to me here?
No, they
No?
would not.
Okay.
Nope. This is new information. Even in the kind of cursory research you've done on the Bloody Fist, these are not names that you've heard of. Duncan Clark would have also said he is a very shadowy figure. He doesn't go out on these jobs. He's kind of this sort of money man gangster in the shadows that's kind of directing everything, and doesn't have so much of an active role in these incidents of really intense violence that have been occurring in the East End over the past like month or so.
Okay.
Cool. So so you got the name of Duncan Glick, who's the gang leader, and then of this bald-headed man, shirtless man named Frederick Downs. And Brimmer thinks for another minute, and Bollocks is sort of there pondering beside him. And Bollocks says, "Well, boss, I mean, I think he's telling the truth. And now we got so many names, but I do wonder about lots of blood, bearing down, teeth, and all that unnatural. Could it be a wayward lick?" And Brimmer takes one of his huge sausage-fingered hands, is just stroking his warty chin with thousands of chins, and he's like, yeah, right. Well, I don't know. Definitely requires more investigating, I think. I don't like this. Now, boy, you got anything else for us? And Clark is just shivering at this point, completely, all the blood drained out of him, looking extremely pale. And this red mark arising on his face from the hit that he just took. That's all I know. I know there are other jobs coming up, and Downs he's just really eager. He's always trying to get us riled up, and he's always wanting to test us, like just test us. And I'm tired. I'm so tired. Please just let me go home, please. I promise. I'll leave the gang. I won't do anything else. I promise you, sir. I promise. And Brimmer nods his head. All right. But you have to understand, we gotta keep you around at least a little longer in case you do think of something. And Brimmer smiles that super wide, uncanny valley smile with all these rows of sharp little teeth, like a mini shark. And Bollocks smiles in return and takes Clark back to the back of the cavern through one of the private tunnels in the back. And as he's being taken back, Bollocks puts the gag back in his mouth, and he's just sobbing as they take him back to the tunnel. And Brimmer sort of leans on his cane, and he looks out at the crowd. He locks eyes with Rafe and Tommy in turn. And Brimmer's like, all right, well, armed with this new information, we have people to pursue. And I think we'll get together in groups, and like I said, strikes start tomorrow. Hope you didn't have any plans for Christmas, boys. and there you hear a couple of chuckles, maybe a couple of groans from the audience, and things start to disperse at that time. Not people aren't leaving; they're just sort of like milling around, maybe going back to gambling or whatever. And Brimmer comes down from this like little platform, and he approaches Rafe and Tommy. Are you guys were just standing like in the thrall?
Oh,
Yeah.
very, very much so. When the boss is talking, you shut up.
Yeah, very wise decision.
If
So
only you would use that in terms of Lillian, you'd be great.
Yeah.
Just you all wait. So Brewer comes down from the platform and he approaches you two. Well, interesting night, boys, to arrive here, ain't it?
Right. Yeah.
That seems
So,
like it.
what all exactly are you planning on doing now, as far as the bloody fists? Like, you lads are gonna keep the collateral damage down to a minimum, aren't you?
Of course, we don't do any killing that ain't necessary.
Right.
Only in dire circumstances. That's kind of the way we operate. Clean. I know it's funny for us lot, clean, right? But
Well, no, I didn't. I would never try to make any kind of inference whatsoever that that your particular family is anything less than stellar.
listen,
So-
if you can't laugh at yourself, I mean, that's kind of our thing. We got to take it in stride because all of us be fucked up in one way or another.
Right, true. I guess anything it does take to try to make life a little more bearable or unlife, if the depending on the terminology that you're looking at there. Well, now that your business has been tended to, we would like to discuss why we came here in the first place, if you don't mind, sir.
Of course. Lay it on me.
Right, and Tommy, by all means, don't hesitate to jump in if I've mucked up a detail here. But long story short, we've got some kind of monstrous-looking kindred with wings.
And his eyes widen. These yellow amphibious eyes just all of a sudden, and the slit pupils are like just a sliver. Wings, you said.
Right, and it was attacking a doctor at this flu ward that I happen to have a personal interest in, and there's reason to believe that this kindred could be connected to all of the bodies that are getting pulled out of the Thames. But that's why
Fucking
we're
hell.
here, to try to. I understand you lot. That's kind of your calling card, is you deal in information, correct?
Of course.
And
Ain't nothing else we can give, really.
right, and so I want one last point I want to make perfectly clear before we continue on with this conversation. I'm representing someone who represents Prince Mithras.
Oh, right. Okay.
However,
Yeah.
it is my personal belief, and the personal belief of my associates, both Tommy here and my acquaintances outside, that it's in everyone's best interest that these attacks on the doctors and the bodies being dumped in the Thames comes to a stop, and any kind of corroborating support that you and your crew could provide would be greatly appreciated. And I do not. Once again, I want to stress that I'm just someone else's mouthpiece, being someone else's mouthpiece, and I don't. This is not in any way, shape, or form a official communication from Prince Mithras, but it would suit you. It would suit your interests and Prince Mithras's interests if this matter was dealt with post haste, sir.
Right, and don't get it wrong. I know operations are a little bit different down here, but he's still my prince as well. And I fully intend to keep him happy. Because, I mean, if you've been around 2 seconds, you know.
Right.
There ain't no fucking with that.
Oh,
Anyway, I know me boys, this actually makes sense with what my boys been telling me, because, you know, I got them out in the street at night and all, hidden away, as it were, and they seen something flying through the air. They seen, and now, I didn't really, did you get a close look at it?
very much so.
What can you give me just any bit of more description?
Tommy?
Gray wings, ferocious claws. Monstrous.
I really wanted you to answer that in haiku.
But it seemed to be very susceptible to mind control. It seems to be conditioned to be someone's lapdog, and it's connected to the
Fucking hell.
Bollingsworths. If that name means anything to you, sir.
I mean, yeah, they were major players. I mean, still are, really. In the glass industry, they got factories and whatnot in London, and then some more operations up north. Yeah, I know them, but not much been heard from them other than the regular, you know, commercial dealings. It's weird. It's very odd that to hear that name in connection with what's going on, it doesn't. I'm thinking, but before that, fucking hell, I can't believe I've been old enough to see this shit again.
What do you mean?
But I mean, I believe what you saw is called a gargoyle, and not only is it, as you say, ferocious, monstrous, and a lapdog, it's a lapdog of one of the witches.
Oh.
And I bloody thought that Mithras had written pretty much every single one out. So I don't understand how this can even be possible. It would be one thing if he was like old and wild and his master's long dead, but if he's still reporting to someone, that means that there's a fucking Tremere in the city that Mithras hasn't killed yet. Bloody hell.
Oh, great.
Oh my god.
And
fucking hell.
If these things are, if going off of your reaction, sir, these gargoyle creatures are somewhat rare, correct? So going by that assumption,
more so.
Right. But this
more so than you could even think. I mean, the Ivory Tower don't like it. Nobody likes it except the Tremere. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not something for. I mean, even for us, it's low, it's dirty, it's disgusting to create one.
So they make them. They don't.
Oh yeah, this is not a regular. No, this is not a typical creation. I don't know much about it really, but the creation. I mean, I imagine that's some fucking nasty secret that the usurpers keep
Right.
to themselves.
So
But
they're made, not embraced. That's what you're getting at.
correct, yeah. It's like, and it's not, it's again, it's from what I remember from very long ago, it's an unbelievably horrifying procedure that takes many, many lives. Not just the life of one bloke, but many lives, many kindred on lives to create one. And so that means there was several kindred just to create this one monstrosity.
Oh.
So this is a whole fucking other pile of shit.
Right. So why don't you if you would take it under advisement, sir, it wouldn't be a bad idea to maybe work this in with your vengeance against the Bloody Fists, sir. I understand you have your own you have your own personal and professional concerns here in the neighborhood, but if you could at least just maybe keep an ear out, you can find.
This is rocketing up on the priority list because I don't think you understand. While I don't know the exact details of the creation process, they use our boys.
What,
Our boys,
Nosferatu?
the Nosferatu, yes, to make the gargoyles. I know that them's using Nosferatu. So that means we're all in danger.
Why do I have the feeling that the Tremere just pissed off the wrong kindred? Oh, dear Lord.
I mean,
Not all.
God,
not all
do you know?
kindred
Does the prince know about this? That you saw one?
We didn't know what we were looking at to begin with at the time. I don't think we.
Oh, right. No, you're right. You wouldn't have known.
But now we do. So I personally think, Tommy, that we've got the information that we need, and we've fulfilled our gesture of diplomacy between Sheriff Parr and the broken mouths here. So, unless there was any other pressing business you have, Underprince, we probably should be about our business sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I understand, and I mean, I want everybody that can work on this. Obviously, we need to do it, and it's now could pose an immediate threat to me and mine. So, I'll let you go, but one last thing, I thought I'd extend the invitation.
Right.
If you would like I said, we're going to do strike on Christmas Day, and we'll get them while they're drinking and while they're partying and while they're fucking about. We'll hit them then, because ain't nobody here got family to go back to but us, the gang. So if you want, and I could offer you, prestation. A minor boon, because with me and broken mouths, you'll be safe. I think we can take them. So minor boon for you and your boy. And he looks at Tommy. And I mean, you said you have some other cunts up there. So yeah, like if you want to bring them along too, or for the Christmas Day strike, should be a bloody good time.
Well, we'll take it under advisement, sir. And Rafe takes off his cap
right.
and bows politely. We must be about our business, sir. And good evening, and best of luck if we do not run across your path before Christmas.
All right then. Yeah, just let Bollocks know. He'll be up at the pub.
Right.
And you can just go through him. All right. Bye now, boys, and you be safe. You keep looking out. All right.
Oh, most definitely, sir.
All
And
right.
with that, I think Rafe and Tommy are gonna haul ass out of the tunnel. we need to unless
I'm gonna take 2 steps and I'm going to turn around real quick. And I'm gonna look at him and go, the Bollingsworth Bottling Company around here. Might be smart to have a crew on there, see what's going on around that particular place.
Yeah. You're right. I sent a few of my boys out there, the strong ones. I'll send them out there. Yeah.
Then I turn around and get the F out of Dodge.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. Okay, so Rafe and Tommy, Bollocks, let's say, will escort you out. You make it through. There's no more faffing about with the traps. Like, it goes a little bit smoother this time. So you all get out of the tunnel and you emerge and go up the stairs to meet back with Walter and Lillian, who are just standing there on the bridge in the cold.
So how'd it go?
Well, it's actually not that bad down there as long as you don't mind bugs.
Well, you absolutely took your precious time about it, didn't you?
Right, but anything worth doing is worth doing well, right, Mum? We've got plenty of information to work with now.
Do we?
Yes, and Rafe looks about to make sure that there aren't any looky-loos who shouldn't be hearing this part of the conversation. Right, Mom, how quickly do you think you can get a meeting set up with Sheriff Parr, or at least get information directly into her ear?
Probably rather quickly. It's a matter of making a phone call.
Right,
Unless you'd like to go and, find the good sheriff and, potentially interrupt whatever he's
that's
doing.
probably not a good idea.
Just as a note, Lillian, just as a reminder, in the last session, you did get a note that you were going to meet Sheriff Parr on Christmas Eve at the Tower of London.
Right, but I thought that was going to be I was thinking that was a few days away at least.
No, it's
No?
December
okay.
23rd. Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking that it was like a few days away, so that's why I was like, oh, well, maybe if I call, I might be able to arrange this sooner. But okay.
Yeah, it's actually the next night. So
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right then. Yeah. So rewind a little retcon there, and I do believe that there is already a meeting arranged for tomorrow night. Would that be quick enough for you?
It should, hopefully. I mean, I don't see the damage caused by letting this sit one more night. I am sure the sheriff is a very busy woman, and we wouldn't want to disrupt her work.
So yes, then is your answer, I take it?
Yes.
Fantastic. Let me give you a small piece of information for you, more so a word of advice, I suppose.
Right.
If your answer can be, if the answer can be something as simple as a yes, then simply say yes. Talk less.
Understood.
You're wanting to make a... Huh?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Your intentions are to at some point make a bit of a impression on Camaria. So let me just talk less.
Understood.
Say what you intend and let it be. They don't have
Understood.
any interest in hearing the runaround.
Understood. But no, yeah, if this, I mean, yeah, if this can, this can wait, I would think.
It's going to have to. I'm
Yes.
not going to be the one to interrupt her.
Yes. Actually, yeah, storyteller, about what time of night is it right now?
It is gonna be probably about. It's pushing 3 a.m. now.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure sunup is not too far off, and we all do have our own personal business to attend to. At least I have my own personal business to attend to before sunrise. So, if it's fine with you, I wouldn't mind retiring for the evening, and we can maybe meet back at, I don't know, maybe out front the Tower of London tomorrow evening?
Well, I have a lead on a freshly missing person that I think might lead us to someone who is actually conducting the attacks on the people and bringing heat to them.
Yes.
Right.
There is a
sheep.
little bloody fist by the name of, what did he say his name was? Clark, yeah.
Oh.
And so he was recently missing, and I was going to try to go find him, see if there's anything we can follow up on as to who might be feeding on people and dumping them in the river.
Well, we found Clark.
What?
He's alive for now.
Yeah.
But who got him?
The Nos.
Yes.
Oh,
Wait,
that's
then-
absolutely lost cause then, Mr. Price. I suggest you forget that completely.
Yeah, he's he
However,
he was not having a very good time earlier. He's bugs.
Of course not.
I
Nobody
won't-
really
I
has
may
a
not
good
be
time
able-
with Nosferatu.
I still need to close this loop. I need to go tell the boys.
Why would you do that? They'll figure
Okay.
it out.
No, that he's fine. He's not been taken. Right? He's not taken, is he?
he's close to being taken.
He won't be
He's-
snacked on.
He's
Not yet.
He's very much unable to leave voluntarily.
Apparently, the Bloody Fists may have some of our kind in their ranks as well. There was a situation apparently of a botched robbery that they were on, and one of the newer members that they had attacked the innocent bystander and pretty much ate the man.
What's his name?
The new member, we don't have that name, but we do have a guy named Downs. Bald, shirtless, walks around here. Might be something that your group might be able to look into, find out where
Sarah.
he's at.
I can't remember back a couple of weeks. Does that match the description of any of the gentlemen I was talking to?
No.
Okay.
But no, we have a guy named Downs, and the person who set up the heist that they were going on. His name was Duncan, but I don't think he plays too much of a role in this situation right now.
Duncan Glick.
Duncan,
What a terrible name.
I know.
Agreed. It's very percussive. It sounds right. Shutting up.
Yeah.
Well,
Look.
if we've got a couple hours, they're over here at the pub. These people who I told to wait on us. I can go down there and ask them.
Well, I really must depart. You all can go about your business. I must see to something before sunrise.
Hey,
Right. I have no intentions on following those leads. I can assume that we would probably meet at my residence tomorrow
Now, Miss
night. I'm
Crawford,
sure you
wouldn't
know
it
the way.
feel excellent to do something charitable?
No. I've already done charitable. I made sure that your favored hospital gets a new doctor.
See, now you're getting in the habit of it. Come with me.
Absolutely not. Why would I do that?
Tommy.
Oh, okay.
I need a bottle of wine. I'll join you.
Let's do it.
Okay. I was gonna say if we want to do some like rolls against each other,
No, I'm not
here.
pushing that far. I know it's a
You're
lost
not gonna do
cause.
that. Okay.
No.
All right. Fair enough.
I'm not here to make people do things they don't want to do.
Okay. So let me just get the temperature here. So, Walter and Tommy are going to go to the old prospect where John and Doug are waiting for to hear about Clark, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then Rafe is gonna go do his thing.
Right.
And then Lillian, what are your plans?
Lillian is going home.
Going home. Fair enough. Okay, so let's say, let's just do a little, just brief fast forward. Lillian, your car is just hovering around waiting to pick you up. So you will go in the car back to your residence, and we'll touch base again with you before the night's over. Let's first, Rafe, what are you doing? Where are you going? How are you getting there?
All right. So, if I recall correctly, the meeting with my sire isn't until tomorrow night? Or was it tonight?
I am actually not sure that it was 100% determined, but if you would like to, I would say if you would like to do it in this last little bit of night, I would say that we can say that you arranged it, but it's up to you.
I think it would make much better sense given all of the chaos going on at the hospital. Rafe would probably stop in and try to check in one more time, just to make sure everything is going well there, and checking in on what's going on with his lovely wife.
Sure. So you're going back to Wetterman. It's really not like super far from the Thames, so we'll say it just takes you like about 20 minutes to walk there.
Right.
So you'll arrive at Wetterman. The flu is still raging. This is the first winter of the flu, so it is it's still very busy there. Everybody running around. As you're just going in through the front up to reception like normal, or
right. They've seen me around enough. I think I could probably slink about without having to go through too much effort.
Yeah, absolutely. They're again like they're very preoccupied with the flu patients. So you'll be sort of hanging about, and you will see Nurse Jackie, the 5 foot tall stout woman with brown hair, born and bred Cockney. And she sees you. She's like shuffling through some papers behind the desk. And she looks up and she spots you. It's like, oh, Mr. Williams, is it?
I actually probably would have given him my pen name.
Oh, that's right. Sorry,
yeah.
Thornborough. Mr. Thornborough?
Yes, Mom.
Can I help you with anything? What you doing here tonight?
Oh, well, yes, I was just going and getting some information, just checking about, just wanting to see how things are in the far and wee, as they say. Just trying to get a vibe for the nightlife at one of these flu wards.
It's a bit unusual, but all right. Strange times.
Well, I'm a writer. I'm a writer, and I'm doing a piece.
Of course.
Right.
Right. Of course. I mean, it's been difficult. I mean, we're all still very shaken about Dr. Gray. God bless his soul. But we've got things in the works for another doctor or two to come into the hospital to help us. But just busy with the flu and a soldier here and there, but nothing, no further violence, I guess, sir.
Right. All right. Well, you have a good night, Mom, and if you don't mind, I'll just be a quick minute, and then I'll be out of your hair, if that's all right.
Yeah, of course, sir. Yeah, no problem. Do what you will.
Thank you. And
she starts to just run to some other emergency.
Right, and Rafe's gonna go about his business. You know, he's got his notepad out and his pencil, and he's writing and taking notes, and he's
Okay.
nonchalantly drifting his way, you know, to her room.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll sort of meander down the women's ward, which is the left side out of reception.
Right.
And you'll approach Margaret's room. And the door is like slightly ajar, but there's nobody in there but her right now. And why don't you, if you would please make a roll for me?
Of course.
Sure. So if you could please roll. Gosh, your wits and awareness is so high. We'll just have you succeed at half then.
That works. That works for me.
Yeah. So no roll required, we'll say.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So you feel like you can detect that she might be a little better than the last time you saw her. There's like a little bit more color in her face. She seems to be probably just sleeping. Her breathing seems pretty regular. And you know, you're not a doctor, so you can't really fully know the scope of the picture of her entire health, but
would they have bothered leaving any kind of medical chart attached to her bed? I don't know if they even bothered with such formalities in the wards back in the day.
Probably not. I don't
Understood.
I don't think that there's a chart there. And so you feel somewhat heartened at the sight of that. And wonder maybe she might be going home soon. You get a feeling maybe she might be going home soon. If she continues to improve in this way, you feel kind of encouraged with that.
Excellent. So, Rafe doesn't feel the need to interfere. She seems to be in a good place. She's recovering. He's not ready to try to have that conversation at any point yet.
Right.
So he's
That's
going
fine.
he's not going to linger. He's going to return home once he's sure that Margaret's fine, and that will be it for him for the night.
Okay, cool. So Rafe will exit the hospital and return to his residence. And now let's go to Tommy and Walter, who are outside another typical East London pub. This one's called the Old Prospect. It's just north of the Thames, not very far from the tunnel at all. So you can make it there walking in like 10 minutes. So you all will both walk up there. Nothing. Actually, no, I would like you both to roll wits and awareness. And Ben, you can add one die and one additional die to your pool.
Three for me.
Three.
I got
Okay,
2 10s.
so-
Is that a crit? Does that count as another one? 4?
You got 2 10s?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be 4.
Okay.
Since it's in,
4.
now, is it on just your regular die?
Just
or is
my
it on your
regular
hung-
die.
Just
not
your
on my
regular
hunger.
die. Okay, good deal. Okay, so that's 4 for you then total.
Yes.
Okay. Tommy, you don't notice anything unusual. Again, it's close to the holidays. The flu's going on. There's not a lot of activity at this time in the morning. Walter, you just feel this whiff, like over your head, like almost like a weird like wind sort of that sort of just like brushes the top of your head and then it's gone.
I look up. I wanna. Like, was it a sensation, or did I actually feel like a breeze part my hair?
Yeah, it was not like nothing touched you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just it truly was just like air sweeping over your head. And Walter will look up and sort of squint, and you can just barely see something in the sky going north very quickly. But it's gone. You don't get a shape. You don't get north. Flying across the sky in a northern direction. Yeah.
Tommy.
Yeah.
I feel like I just seen something flying overhead, heading north.
I'm assuming north is just to the city. The south is probably where the Thames.
That's right.
Runs.
Right.
So it's going to the city. There's no way we can follow it.
Not at this point. But, shit. Are there any hospitals around here? Do we know?
Not that I know of.
Shit. Okay.
I don't think there's anything we could do with this right now.
No. Yeah, okay. Let's go inside.
Okay. All right, so
what else can we do? Like follow a shadow.
Nothing.
Yeah.
No, you can't do anything. Sorry. So you enter the Old Prospect Pub, and there's Jonathan and Doug.
I
and
didn't
they're
expect to see them there. Okay.
Yeah, they're sitting there. They're at a table. There's one really sallow-looking bartender. He looks absolutely miserable. The pub has like no distinguishing features. There's probably like a Union Jack, and there's actually probably only one or two other people other than Jonathan and Doug, and they're sitting at the table and they're looking anxious, and they're talking amongst themselves.
Real quick under my breath. The only information we can give them is where Clark is, but we need to know who is causing these rippers. Who's like you said, there was somebody like a vampire or somebody. We need to find out who that is.
Absolutely, I'm with you on this.
Okay. So we walk over to John and Doug.
Okay, and you can see some cards scattered on the table and probably like one or two empty pints. So there is a little bit of a sway in their demeanor, and both just two unremarkable men. Jonathan will sort of look up and he'll be like, "Oi, oi, oi, oi," and he like keeps pounding on Doug's like shoulder. Did you find him? And he's looking right at you, Walter.
Who's Frederick Downs?
Fuck Downs?
Yeah.
Well, why do you want to know?
Because he has something to do with it.
With why Clark is gone, or?
Yeah, I need to speak to Frederick Downs.
Downs?
Yes, Downs. Where is he? Where's he hang out at?
I mean, he just hangs out. I mean, there's like this like warehouse. Everybody hangs out there. So okay. I mean, I seen him around there. Like he's very he wants to do everything, you know, like you think he's fixing to take over. What's that?
What kind of warehouse?
I don't know. Ain't nothing in it now. Just empty, really, except for the stuff we brought in.
Do you know what it used to do?
No. I don't fucking know.
So just an empty warehouse.
Yeah, I mean that's where Glick's put us up. And Downs is there, before the jobs and after the jobs. I mean, I don't know where he lives. I ain't friends with him. He's fucking
You said you went.
madder than batshit.
Did you do a job tonight?
Yeah, I told you we came from the job and it was all fucked up and we can't find Clark.
Who else was on that job?
I mean, there's probably like 10 of us, really. So
You know the
John
one-
and Doug.
You know the one that we're looking for.
What's that?
You know the one that we're looking for. The one
Downs
that jumped on
wasn't
the one
there.
guy. No,
Downs
the one
wasn't
that
there.
the one of your members that jumped on the man and killed him.
And John and Doug exchange concerned glances at this point, and
We are trying to get your friend Clark back to you, and this is the only way it happens.
listen, it wasn't supposed to go down like that. I don't know what the fuck. This is a brand new guy. Like, I don't know him.
Tell it to your vicar. Just give us a name.
Fuck. I think his name's Thomas.
Thomas?
Yeah, he's brand new. Downs
I'm
bought
looking
him.
for a Thomas in London. Give me
I'm a
name.
Thomas.
Well, what do you want? We all look like fucking this in the gang. Like, who do you
Alright,
think
I'm
we
gonna
are?
show up
We're
to your
just
warehouse
Londoners,
and say
like,
I'm looking
proper.
for a Thomas.
Again, I ain't friends with him. I don't know his surname. Excuse me. He's not a royal. Like-
Explain it. Describe him to me.
Fine. I mean, you'd be able to pick him out. He's like really tall.
Well, now I
And-
can because he's really tall. What else is
Like,
Now we have
do you
tall
want
Thomas.
the information? And John stands up at this point and he smacks his hands on the table.
it? Now, John, we've been friendly.
I take a step forward.
Have we
no.
been friendly? Have we
Tommy?
been friendly?
Tommy, I think the man just needs another pint. That's all.
I'll go and get one.
Thank you.
Okay, so Tommy will approach the bar and get a pint of something brown with kind of sediment at the bottom, it looks like.
Getting two.
Okay, so 2 of those concoctions. So you'll get those without a fuss, really. And you'll bring them back to the table. And John you can see the gears turning. Doug has not stood up. He is still sitting down. He's looking up at John like, boy. And John, he's just mulling it over, and he sits back down once Tommy comes with the pint. And he sits it, and he just takes it, and he down in one. And he just drinks it, and you can see the sediment sliding down after all the regular liquid is gone in this dirty glass.
Let me see. Does he look like he's about ready to vomit? Is he repulsed by it?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, he doesn't seem at all fazed by the fact that it's like gross or nasty. He doesn't
Oh
care.
no, I was thinking he was maybe. I'm looking for kindred signs. Like if he drinks the entire pint, does he vomit soon afterwards?
You just for the sake of ease, like you would understand that both of these are mortals, like completely. They're just regular old human beings. Nothing weird going on here with John and Doug, just 2 regular London blokes. Okay, so John, after he downs it in one, he'll sit down and he's like, all right, Thomas is very tall. He's got black hair and this really, really thin face. I mean, he looks right monstrous at times. And again, I don't know nothing about him. I don't know who his mum is or where he shits. I don't know these things. I just know he's brand new and Downs done brought him in.
All right. Thank you for your help. You tell Thomas that Clark is with the rats under the bridge. And that's where you'll find your boy.
What? The rats under the bridge?
You tell him that, and then you'll find your boy.
Fucking hell.
I'd tell him soon.
Fine, whatever. Like, fuck. And he grabs Doug's arm and they just get up and they just straight up leave. They just get out of there.
Thank you for your help.
And they don't say anything. they just are out of there. So there's just probably one or two sad souls left there, and the bartender.
Pour the other one. I pour the other glass out.
Oh shit! You could have given it to one of the other Jim Blossoms.
And the bartender just goes, just defeated.
You said you own this establishment?
No, I just work here.
I hand him the equivalent of $100.
Really? Okay. And his eyes will widen and be like, and you know, this man has almost no will to live. He's just like,
I mean, it's a day's pay, so.
Right. He's like, are you sure? I mean, I ain't done nothing for you.
No, but
do you have a good bottle of wine?
You witnessed a lot, and we'd like you to forget it.
Yeah, fine. Makes no difference to me. You want wine, you said? I mean, I don't know if I'd say it was good. I mean, where do you think you are?
Just let me see the best bottle of wine you have.
All right, so he will reach behind the bar, and he'll just he'll bring out a bottle of wine. It looks old, so there that is. It's covered in dust. Nobody's ordering wine here typically, so it doesn't look that bad. Like I don't know how much Tommy is a connoisseur of wine. Nope. But it's a bottle of red, just a dry red. And he'll like try to wipe the dust off like before he gives it to you. And then he'll hand you, he's like, it's the best we got.
Okay, I look at it and go, it's a shame this broke. And I hold on to it and I walk out.
Wait, I'm not. Run that by me one more again. Like, what do you?
I tell him it's a shame that this bottle of wine broke, and then I leave with the bottle of wine.
He's telling him to mark it off the inventory. It's spoiled.
Okay, all right, got it. I'm back with you now. Okay, and he just nods his head laconically.
We found out he's a regular working stiff, so I tip him, and Tommy steals from him.
Ballsy.
Yeah, it's just he broke even, I guess. So you'll leave the pub, the old Prospect pub there, and where are you guys headed?
Home.
I think it's about time to
how long's it been since the flyover?
Oh, probably just like
from what I
maybe
think
10 minutes, 15 minutes.
How far are we? How far away are we from my haven? Like, could I walk north for a good bit of time and then eventually move back in?
Not really. The Shadwell Basin, like, it's gonna take some time for you to get there because you live right by there. Not quite a walking, like, or you kind of choose to go home or you try to get some kind of car, which is very unlikely at this point.
What time does sunrise? It's winter.
a good question. Let's say like 5.
I mean, it's hard for me. Like we're on the very end of Eastern time zone. Like it doesn't get light here in the winter till like 9 o'clock.
Right.
So.
I will be straight with you and say I'm not 100% sure of the timing there. I know when the sun sets, but not when the sun rises. So, okay. But basically there's not a ton of time left for you to like get home and get situated. So there's like enough, I would recommend that you just go return to your place.
I feel the need to return to my place.
I feel the need to return to my place.
Okay, so we'll say you both go home and nothing really of note happens when you get home. You can kind of just settle in and get ready for your day sleep. Lillian, is there anything that you when upon arriving home, is there anything that you would like to do?
Aside from making sure that Bess is gold to me still. I'm good on hunger. I would have probably made a call to Anne, not necessarily to talk to her, but to leave the message that we have a lead and we'll be sorting it all out.
Okay, cool. So we'll say that phone call goes through. You do reach one of Anne's many assistants in her thrall, and they will pass along the message to her that you have a lead, and will follow that. Okay, so I think at this point it's good for us to take a little bit of a break, and we will resume with the next night upon our return. So stretch, hydrate, get up and walk around a little bit, get your blood flowing, and we will see you very soon. Welcome back to Martlet Games and our Chronicle London's Bleeding. The night of December 23rd, 1918 has just come to a close with all of our kindred finished with their tasks from a very informative night. So they will enter the day sleep. And the rest takes you into an empty place. It's just a void. No dreams, no stirrings of the subconscious, just nothingness as you fall deeper and deeper when the sun rises and you snap into sleep. And now, moving toward the next night, it is Christmas Eve, the first Christmas Eve after war's end. And the people in London should be celebrating with the fathers and the sons and the brothers and the husbands that have returned home. But most people are holed up in their houses, avoiding the flu, mourning those that have passed either through war or through the pandemic that is ripping through nearly the entire world at this point. So if you will all please make your rouse check for the evening.
Hunger 2.
I don't think I've ever passed one. Nope, did not.
Okay, so let me go around the horn here. So Walter, you failed.
Mm-hmm.
Your mind, you're coming awake into the night, and your mind lays out this scene of trenches, holes, tunnels, stinking, death, decay, yellow, brown, red, black. And above the trenches, there's a almost feral figure, shadowy. And in this vision, you're lying in the trench, and he looks down at you and he says, "Prove to me how strong you are." And then immediately, all the images fade from your mind, and your beast tightens in your chest as if it's starting to scratch at your rib cage that holds nothing but dead organs, unnaturally revived by the supernatural power of the blood. Rafe passed. Tommy, you also failed at hunger 2 now. Tommy has a vision as well here, but this time it takes him back across the pond, back to America, on a plain, an empty plain surrounded by trees, and a tiny, tiny hut in the middle of the wilderness. And you can see the back of your sire, and he's on his hands and knees on the floor of the hut with a cloth that has been stained by blood. And he's scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing the floor, which is covered in blood. And there's blood on the walls, and there's blood on the table. And he's scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing. Just so, just so, just so, Tommy, just so. Isn't it time now? Isn't it time to eat? And the vision similarly exits back into your memory. And the beast awakens as you do. And you can feel anxiety. You thought that since the synapses, the chemical processes of your brain are no longer mortal, but somehow the anxious feeling that you experienced in life and at times after death, you feel that anxiety. Your breath can't quicken, but you feel the tightness all over you, especially in your head. Lillian?
Passed.
You passed? Okay, good deal. Okay, so Walter and Tommy are at hunger 2, and Rafe and Lillian remain at hunger 1. And we actually are going to open up on Lillian as you are beginning your night in your house. And let's say you've already gotten yourself ready. The meeting with the sheriff is at midnight, so there's a couple of hours to go. You have maybe an hour or two before you have to leave. And you're milling about your house, attending to whatever you need to, and there is a knock at your front door. And a servant will go and open the door, and you hear sort of the muffled conversation. And the servant comes and locates you wherever you are. And she says, Mum, your friend's here to see you.
Which friends exactly? You're going to have to be a bit more specific on that one.
Sorry, Mum. It's Miss Hodge. She just wanted to speak with you, briefly.
Right. Show her in. No, take her to the parlor room, please. I will be there at some point.
All right. Yes, ma'am. And so she'll go and lead Miss Hodge into the parlor, and it's well appointed. You have some nice pottery in there. You've got maybe some flowers, all the expensive heavy oak furniture of the time, and a nice like red oriental rug. And so are you waiting in the parlor, or are you somewhere else? No, you're not.
Nope,
Okay.
I'm gonna make her wait a little while.
Okay. So we'll sort of then go to Eleanor there. So she's walking in, and she sits down in the parlor. She is looking absolutely immaculate. Couture fashion of the time, expensive jewelry, and she is just smiling. She almost can't stop smiling. And you can hear Miss Hodge and the servant making like lighthearted conversation, maybe laughing, and you hear that for a little while, and then the servant goes off to do their thing, and then you don't hear anything from the parlor, and Eleanor is just sitting in there just waiting.
At some point, yeah, I will make my way into the parlor room, and once I do, I'm going to she'll just kind of open the doors and lovely it is to see you. Whatever could be the meaning of a visit like this? What?
And she stands up from her sitting position, and she's just full of energy, and she comes up and she gives you 2 kisses on the cheek.
Mm-hmm.
And she strains her and is like, I've just had the most exciting, exhilarating time these past few nights, and I just couldn't help but want to share it with my dear friend Lillian. I just had to come and share the good news.
What good news would that be?
Well, I mean, first, how are you, darling? What have you been doing these past few nights?
Plenty. All is well. Continue now, please. No need
Oh.
no need to delay and make this visit last any longer than it needs to.
Oh, splendid. And she's not phased. She will again she's super smiley, and she's almost glowing. If a dead thing could glow, she has this air of power about her, and she looks at you right in the eye. Well, I mean, I'm sure you know, Anne told you that I was assisting the prince in a very important matter with those nasty Setites in Chelsea.
Sure. Although I can't imagine why exactly I would allow that sort of thing linger too much more than just a passing phrase.
Right. Well, I I was helping him, as you know, and the plan came to
As you
fruition.
said.
Quite wonderfully, actually. I was able to pull a member of their beloved herd away. You know how they like to keep lots and lots of playthings around, and it was
Don't we
quite
all?
easy, right? But I mean, those followers of Set, especially, I'd say, just always surrounded with. Anyway, distasteful. But I pulled one of their herd away, and it was just simply so easy then to get their location to pass along to Mithras and a few of us others, and I just it was so successful. I don't think there's one of them. I don't think there's a one of them left. I believe we just got everyone. So the prince is just very pleased, and he's offering me certain advantages in the court, as it was, and I just wanted to share that with you because, you know, what are you doing to make a name for yourself?
Whatever I want. I believe we've had conversations of this nature before, and I have made it quite clear that what I intend to be for my status isn't exactly what you are hoping to achieve. I'm quite pleased with the way my, let's say, on life is blossoming.
Oh, blossoming, you say? Well,
In a manner of speaking.
Of course. And I do hope that all your endeavors proceed as you would like them to, darling. And I'd say Anne is quite pleased as well with how everything went down. When was the last time that you had an audience with the prince?
Does it really matter? The thing is, dear, I could have an audience with the prince pretty much whenever I wanted. I don't particularly need to do that. As you see, I don't have to. I'm not so much like you to where I would have to ask for permission to do things. I just simply do. And
and she interrupts you. Oh, I think you're mistaken, dear. Because the prince selected me specifically for my talents to be featured in this mission. It wasn't I simply asked to come along, but he chose me specifically. And I delivered without a single wayward drop of blood spilt. And in fact, now my power is becoming greater than ever, not just in the ivory tower, but my power itself. And I know you have different aspirations, my dear. I know that the court and the tower, perhaps it doesn't hold the appeal that it holds to me, but I'm advancing my goals. So I would ensure that you are doing the same for your endeavors. Else you may be forgotten.
You know, since you bring up my endeavors and my goals, you did mention that you wanted to ensure that my aspirations are met. That is what you said, wasn't it? That you are.
Yes, I just want to
hoping
make sure that you're on
right.
a similar
Um,
trajectory for success, my dear.
Uh, how kind of you. If you really, really, truly want to help me to make sure that, I don't sully the name of, well, my own name or our sire's name, or, cause any sort of misgivings for Anne at all, then I am having a bit of a trouble with an aristocratic line. Perhaps if, since you have your new ability and whatever that may be, and you are so successful at what you're doing, if you don't mind, would you possibly pop in and sort of give me a good word or two? Bollingsworth, they own the whole wine glass thing, and I am having a bit of trouble out of them. There's a warehouse. I could get my servant to give you that address. Would you mind? I would be so grateful. I might even owe you one.
Oh, well, and she is just soaking it up. Of course, like I said, all the business is concluded with my endeavor for the prince. So, sure, I could get a few of my people to research. You said a warehouse. Is it in East London?
I believe so, perhaps. It's the old glass place. They make the coloured, the wine glass, and
oh yes,
very
Bollingsworth.
old. Right.
I believe we've had some of their glassware at Elysium once or twice. I do believe. Gosh, many around for many centuries. Quite an old family.
Very old, and I'm just, unfortunately, it seems that my current status being what it is isn't quite getting the job done. So if you could actually be so kind as to pop over and, give me a good word, let them know that you and I are rather close, and that I would be forever indebted to you for doing such.
Now, don't say
good
forever,
works.
darling. Don't say not forever, certainly. But as it were, I of course, yes. I shall put my people on it. I shall do a little investigation of my own. I'm sure that have you told Anne?
I might have mentioned it to Anne. I don't. We did speak, yes, and she had hoped that I would sort it out, but I'm not making any real big strides in that area. It seems that, as I mentioned, I'm not quite as established in the workings of the Camry as you are, especially considering you just were chosen to help the prince in such a way. No one could refuse a visit from you. I will go ahead and warn you, though, don't take too kindly to outsiders or those who are not well established. So you should probably, if you're intending on sending anyone, do be aware of that, because I don't think that it would end very great for, your people. They do take better to older money.
Well, you can be quite sure that my intelligence that I receive is always flawless and directly from the source. So
absolutely,
I will put in a good word, as you say. I will do my investigation, and perhaps I will have a chat with Anne, our good lady. as well. But I do have to be going. So many things to do, people to see. You know how it is, I'm sure, don't you, darling?
Absolutely.
So I do wish you the best of luck, and I hope to see you again soon. I miss you so much. And she holds out her hands and grabs your hands. I just miss you. We never sit down. It's just such a strange time in the city, but it's all calming down now, so we can do something interesting together soon.
I can't wait.
Oh, fantastic. All right, well, I'll be in touch. You take care. Kisses, darling. And she just flounces on out of there. And she leaves through the front door. So
I do hope that one dies.
So we will pivot now to Tommy. Is there anything in the hours before the meeting that you would like to take care of?
Tommy is going to wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy is going to make sure that Nathaniel, Private Murphy, knows that I've purchased a bottle of wine.
And when you show that to him, he's happy, and he feels kind of good and reassured about that.
And I'll tell him, like, tomorrow's going to be a great time. We're going to enjoy ourselves. As for today, it sounds like it might be a little bit of trouble on the streets, so it might be safe to stay inside.
Again.
I know. I wanted to make sure I had the bottle of wine just in case. I wanted to make sure that everything is perfect for tomorrow.
And he's looking the bottle over, and he then kind of points it at you. You know, if you're always out on the street, I may stray.
I don't think you will. And I smirk.
And he sort of is in a bit of a huff after that, and goes back to the bedroom and closes the door.
And then I get myself ready.
Okie dokie. So Walter, anything specific actually, pause on that. So Walter will wake up, and there will also be a knock on your door of your haven.
Like of my personal quarters at the front door of my haven.
It's actually in your it's actually your personal quarters. There's a knock on the door.
Okay. Well, I'm hungry and I had a nightmare, so I'm a little angry, a little testy.
Sure.
I rip open the door. What?
And there you see just 1 second as I review something here. Okay. You will see John, the eldest Taylor son, there, and he's holding his hat in his hands, and he's there looking concerned, and he sort of sheepishly looks at you. Hello, Walter.
Hello, John. What is the matter?
Well, nothing's the matter particularly. I just wanted to let you know that after Christmas, I'm going to leave the city.
Where are you going?
Well, I met someone, a girl, and she's French, and now that the war's over, I want to leave as well. And I'm going with her to France.
Well, congratulations are in order, I suppose. That's are you ready?
I just
have you no, it sounds lovely. Time
I mean, I don't
Has
mean to leave Mum and the others, but I don't want to be here anymore. I want to start over.
So, and I kind of hold him, like, John, going out on your own, finding your way, starting a life is a strength, knowing that you don't need your family anymore. But we are always here for you.
But you don't think I'm abandoning them?
Your family?
Mom is still. She's despondent.
I haven't spoken to your mom in quite some time. What do you mean despondent?
She's just very sad. She is staying in as to protect her and the other children from the flu. She never goes out.
Oh, the flu. John, are you sure now is a good time to be traveling with the illness going on?
She has family in the country, in the south of France, and
But you
there
can't
aren't
get
as
there
many
by
people there.
yourself.
It's not like London.
Are you going to swim the channel?
Well, no, she said she can arrange some kind of transportation for us that's all on the up and up.
Wait a minute. Is this a woman of means?
I mean, I don't have all the details, but yes, I think her family has a bit of money.
You're going to marry this woman and you don't have all the details. John. Is this your
If
first
you could only meet her, she's
Is
incredible.
this your first girlfriend?
I mean, yeah, she's the.
I believe I better meet
yeah,
this young
she's
woman.
my first, I guess.
Has your mum met her?
Yes, she came round once, but my mother wasn't in the mood to really
Excellent.
try to have any conversation with her, really.
I would love to meet this young woman and her family.
Well, her family is not here. It's just her, really, right now, but her family's back in France. Perhaps
Who
we
is
could
she
arrange
staying
something
with?
before we leave.
Well, when do you plan to leave? Are you
Before the
leaving
new
now?
year. No, before the new year.
All right. You set up a meeting, and I'll be there.
All right, I would rather like you to meet her before I leave, because I don't know when I'll be back.
I'm confused. You're not leaving town today. You're leaving town before the new year, which I suppose could be any time between now and the new year. You want me to meet this woman who has no family in the city. We don't know where she's staying. And you expect to go out into a pandemic that's killing millions of people. And you're going to go live in the countryside in France.
Yes, so we can just ride out the duration of it away from the squalor of London and the people packed in like animals.
What do you think a boat is?
But that's just a temporary period of time to get to the destination.
All it
Listen,
takes is
I
once.
just wanted to let you know what I was doing. If you do
Fine.
not approve, then that is your choice. But I have made up my mind. I wanted
you
to
speak
inform
to me
you.
as you're a grown man. And maybe
Well, I
you
am, aren't
are-
I? Boys younger than I went to the war.
How old is this kid?
I think he's 17.
Okay. So I would actually kind of appreciate him standing up to me like that. All right. I would like to meet this woman before you go. While you did grow up in the East End, I'm not sure you have the instinct to keep yourself out of trouble. It's for you, John.
I've gotten this far, haven't I?
You've gotten this far with me.
And he
That's-
looks down into his hat. Well, I'll contact you. Do you think you'll be by for do you think you'll be by for Christmas?
Of course, I'll be by for Christmas. I don't mean for us to end on this. I don't want you to do something rash. I'm sorry if you feel belittled by this conversation, but I must meet this woman before you decide to leave town.
Yes, I'll arrange it. All right. Good night, Walter.
Good night, John. Look after your mother.
And right. Kind of trails off, and then he'll leave your residence, and he'll walk by all the members of your tribe chilling out. And he kind of doesn't pay any attention to them, and he leaves. Anything else that Walter would like to do before the meeting? Okay, what's that?
All right, so I'm gonna take a look around at all the lazy bums sitting around my haven right now.
Yeah, they're really lazing it up today.
I'm looking around and I'm like, stand up. I'm in a mood.
And the members will sort of look at each other like, what? And they will stand up.
You let my surrogate son walk in here and you're lazing about. This is a tribe of strength and of men.
But it's Christmas Eve.
Then go home. Who's feeling strong today?
No one steps forward.
Oh no, I'm angry.
Everyone's just looking at everybody else, waiting for someone to step forward or raise their hand, and nothing happens.
This was our tribe.
Silence.
And nobody's feeling strong today. Nobody's keeping you here. What are you gonna do? Wait around? You say it's Christmas Eve, but you're still here. Something is happening out there and nobody cares. Everybody go home for the night. I don't need you.
And again, many glances are exchanged with the members of the tribe, and they will pretty much move wordlessly to just leave. And a couple of them are looking at you very guiltily. And some of the other ones seem kind of pissed off.
If there is no strength,
no one's saying.
If there is no strength, we do not share strength. It was a test and you all failed.
And the last people that are filing out, they're just sort of shaking their heads, and they're leaving. And so then Walter is alone.
And that's really upsetting, and I'm very hungry. So now it's time to go find Clarence.
Okay. Where would Clarence be right now on Christmas Eve at in nightfall?
I don't know. He probably would be near the house.
Just the regular Taylor house?
Yeah, just the Taylor house.
Okay, so let's say that you get there. You have a little bit of anger to propel you slightly faster than normal. So you will get to the house, and would Clarence be inside? That's kind of what I'm not sure about. Or is he kind of just
I don't
lingering?
think he would be inside.
Me neither.
Yeah, Clarence is not. It's part of his atonement is to be away from his family while he gains his strength.
So then let's say there's kind of like across the street from the house. It's kind of like on a smaller back street, not a main road. And he's just kind of sitting near just some barrels. And he's just kind of blankly staring at the ground, Would you describe Clarence for us?
Yeah. At this point, Clarence was probably, say he's got a 17-year-old kid. He's probably in his early 40s. He is weather worn. He has a distant, like 50-yard stare look.
Absolutely.
He has thinning hair. He's gaunt, sunken eyes. He looks like Walking Dead, but he is truly alive. But he's
Okay.
got maybe a little bit of a limp or something where he doesn't necessarily look out of place, but for this part of town, but he is not well.
Okay, gotcha.
He will never gain his strength back, is the way I wrote that character.
Right.
He is
I got
doomed
that
to
vibe.
torment.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So he's just sort of staring down the street, and once in a while, like as you approach, he'll like look up at the house, but then sort of immediately cast his gaze back down. But he does see you approaching, and a little bit of life comes into him then. Water?
Clarence.
It's been a while since I've seen you.
I apologize for my oversight.
I miss you, Zol.
How are you feeling today?
I mean, fine considering. Don't have the flu, so feel like I don't have much room to complain. Not dead from the war. Still standing here, so try to count my blessings.
Your son is going to France.
John's going to France. Why?
With a woman.
Oh dear. And
And
what
Walter
about
tries to-
her?
I don't know. Clarence, I'm hungry. Do you have a
Right.
place? Do you have a place?
Yeah, there's a flat down the road that we can duck in. And you will just not very far away at all, like 2 or 3 minutes walk, and it's like a street level flat that has kind of been abandoned, so like the windows are boarded up, like there's nobody there. The doors like not all the way closed, and it just enters into like a just sort of a living room area. There's like an abandoned stove, a chest of drawers that have the drawers opened for some reason, and some papers scattered around. Probably a rat here and there, just not lived in recently. So you and Clarence will duck in there. What is your method exactly for the feeding with Clarence?
Walter's feeling extremely vulnerable right now. He just got upset at his tribe. He was let down by their items. He went crawling back to the man that he knows is weak and has shown his weakness to him. There will probably be some sort of tender embrace and then feeding on it, and then immediately some sort of, once I have my strength back, once I have my power back, I will continue to belittle and put Clarence back in his place.
Right. So you will feed from Clarence to slake one hunger.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a consensual agreement between...
It is, yeah.
So there's no rolling or like contest. This is just a regular exchange. And I mean, there's no denying that the kiss is very pleasurable. So, he's sort of lost in the rapture, and it's the first time. It brings you some comfort that he is feeling even a minority bit of good at that point, even though that you are focused on keeping him in his place and like teaching him these lessons about strength. But there is something inside you that softens to see him not in abject misery. So you'll, this is a regular occurrence, so you'll lick the wound closed and all is kind of well. And Clarence looks up at you and he just has a little bit of a smile on his face and he's like, "Thank you, Walter."
I smile back, and then I frown. You're weak.
I know.
And then I leave.
I know. And you can hear a soft sob.
Walter's not a nice guy.
You can hear a soft sob, just a choking, just one singular choking
Lillian
sob as you
approves.
exit. Yeah, Lillian loves this low humanity shit. So okay. And then we'll say that like Walter, you can like return to your haven however long it takes
Sure,
for you to
yeah.
get is there any other thing you wanted to do?
No, that's it. I wanted to feed, but none of my herd guys stood up, so I had to go to the other one.
Hey, yep, gotta get it where you can. So all right, we will then pivot. Is there any preparations that Rafe would like to make? Anything doing for him?
Well, perhaps Rafe, when he awakens, it's been a while since his beast has shown itself, and maybe when he wakes up, he's a little concerned over the fact that he hasn't had to feed for a while.
That is very, very true.
It's been a few
Yes.
days, but
You're right about that.
it's been a few days, but maybe that's a sign that he's stepping on the right path. That he's trying to. He knows deep down that there is a way through this, that there is a way out of this condition, but it's the matter of figuring out the way forward. And maybe he's thinking that him helping out Nurse Jackie the other night might have helped fight back the beast a little bit, and so he's maybe making a mental note that he's going to try to help more people with his special abilities that don't seem to be very common in his clan. But
Right.
he will check through his correspondence, make sure that there's nothing pressing that requires his immediate attention as far as work goes.
Okay.
But then he's going to try to make an attempt to. He's going to dress a little more formally. His nightly get-up similar to what we've got here, but maybe he's wearing an ascot or a cravat, some sort of tie, and he's making sure that he's wearing clean clothes. Maybe he doesn't always follow through on the personal hygiene as well as he should for being undead. I mean, he still bathes.
It's easy to forget when
It is
you're
true.
not
No hygiene for
oil
a
and things.
Toreador, though.
Mhm. But
Hey, it's
but-
tough times.
but if nothing is actually requiring Rafe's immediate attention, he's going to take full advantage of the quiet and do his due diligence as far as making sure it's presentable. Maybe practicing some introductions,
Sure.
and he's following Lillian's advice there, and he's very short, very curt. He's
Okay.
making a point that it's very to the point.
Speaking of
Mhm.
Lillian, the moment that you were thinking about how, hey, maybe things are getting better because I haven't been hungry. like you hear Lillian's voice in the back of your head audibly scoff at you.
She's in there. She's in your brain.
Well,
Uh,
I have an idea, and we can discuss this later. But
Oh, okay. I look forward to that. Okay, so with everyone's preparations complete, we will assume that everyone's arriving around the same time. We'll say you all get there like 11:40 p.m. as the meeting is at midnight. And this Tower of London, I mean, this is obviously one of the major London landmarks here. And where you're actually meeting is in this space between the tower and the Thames. So you're meeting at the Traitors Gate, which is the medieval prison and entrance to the tower. It's actually a water gate. And they would send prisoners through there covertly to be locked up and tried. And during World War I, this was fully housing German prisoners of war. It was at this point, you know, considered like a tourist attraction, but once the war broke out, it's in active use, and there are probably Germans in there right now that are being held as prisoners of war still, awaiting execution. You're gathering there, and you can kind of peer down into the Traitors Gate from like street level, and it's just this dark, murky water. It's a very, very clear, still night. No snow. If you could feel the cold, it would be almost overwhelming, even with the absence of wind. There's just something very unsettling about the quiet in London on Christmas Eve after the war. You would think there would be celebrations in the street, decorations, people going to mass, people with their families, but they are not there. The flu has forced everyone home, and most people are complying at this point. So you are all there, and you don't see anyone at this time. And if you would like to like make some conversation, you can.
Rafe was standing there. He's wearing that old military trench or peacoat trench coat.
Oh yeah.
And he's actually, I'm going to, you know, I talked shit earlier, so I'm going to do a rouse check.
Oh, okay.
No, I still succeeded.
Lucky.
Blush of life to affect the breathing, and so he can actually enjoy this cigarette he's smoking before they're set for their appointment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's very eerie tonight. You notice that? It's too quiet. This is like what it is in. I mean, Lillian. It's the other two gents here can understand, but there's this sense when you're in the trenches, when you're out there on the front, and you know the artillery is coming, and you've heard the explosion off in the distance, and you know that the whistling is coming. It feels just like that. There's something not right tonight. I'm not liking this.
What I've noticed is the fact that you for whatever reason, I decided it was a good idea to pick up a bad habit after death.
What's
so
he
to
gonna
speak.
do? Kill him?
Is it entirely necessary, though? I mean, honestly, it's just bad smell, and it discolors your teeth, and it's just.
Well, we don't
But
have
you
to.
know, you do your own little thing. On the second observation is if you can hear the whistling and you know it's coming, then get the fuck out of the way.
Which is why I really don't want to be here right now. I'm trying to prove my point. This is not. I'm too.
You
it's
didn't
too-
have to come, Rafe. You do realize that.
I look at
This
Rafe.
is of your own accord.
And we have nothing to worry about if we don't sell each other out.
Well, right, but short, to the point.
Look at you, you're learning. I'm so proud.
And I will just let you do all the talking. How's that? Is that even
Probably
better?
best.
There.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Excellent. We know my place in the grand scheme of things here, gents.
You are quite dramatic, aren't you?
A little bit.
It's a toreador for you.
Mm-hmm. No, and actually, as they're standing there out in the cold, there's maybe different turns of phrasing working around in Rafe's head. He's maybe thinking about going home tonight and writing a poem about about this
Oh,
night.
yeah. I like it.
It's very evocative, and he's feeling inspired. And
Be careful, I'm gonna make you recite that shit next week.
Some people wield language like a rapier, others wield it like a hammer.
I swear to God, as soon as you said that you were thinking about phrasing, I was like, Lillian's a bitch. That's exactly what came to mind. That was the phrasing you were thinking of.
You can only rhyme bitch with bitch so many times.
Oh look,
I did
now
it
you've
seven.
given yourself
Yeah,
a
yeah.
wrong
What
word.
rhymes with bitch? I don't know. Bitch sounds good.
Great.
Control
Okay.
V.
All right, so you all will sort of just continuously wait around, make idle conversation, whatever, smoke cigarettes. And it's getting closer to midnight now. Nothing has changed. You haven't seen anybody. And midnight comes. And the air around is again very still.
Looking up in the sky.
Nothing in the sky that you can notice. And all of the sudden, right where the street level like meets the water of the Trader's Gate, kind of on this railing, and there's some benches. Like I said, it is kind of like a tourist attraction in peacetime, so there's lots of like stuff for people walking around. So there's a bench, and all of a sudden, into existence out of nowhere, you see a very, very young looking girl. She looks like she's 16 or 17 years old. She has very distinct slicked back, long dark hair that's gray just at the top. She's in a very uncommon looking, almost like a Victorian funeral suit with a black cravat, and there are tails on the jacket that you can see from under her thighs. And she's sitting there and she's just looking at all of you. And she doesn't say anything, but she's clearly noticed your presence, but isn't making any news.
I have a couple questions, and they may seem dumb. Did she just like apparate, or was there like a poof of smoke, or was there like a gush of
She just-
wind, or
Nope. She just popped into existence.
and you
No sound, no visual cue, nothing like that.
and know this is a dumb question, so everybody can laugh. But you mentioned a bench. Is the bench still there?
Yeah, she's sitting on the bench.
Okay. Like the way it was described at first, I was like, did
Sorry,
Okay.
it was a little bit
did the
unclear at
bench
the
turn
beginning.
into the
Right, so the bench is in front of that railing, and
okay.
she appears on the bench already sitting down.
Okay, got it.
I believe our
And-
meeting is starting.
Right.
Yeah.
Madam Crawford.
Hello.
Hello. It's nice to see you. It's been quite a long time.
Indeed.
That
You
just
know-
scratched.
Sorry, what was that?
I said that voice just scratched my soul. I'm gonna put myself on mute.
Okay. And she stands up. And you would recognize her as the sheriff of North London, Juliet Parr. And she has this high, young sounding, languid voice and this very fluid way of moving. And Tommy, you might get a little mental ping in your head as she is also a member of your clan.
Cousin.
Oh, cousin, do I know you?
Don't think so, but I don't know, just something just popped.
Well, you know how it is with us.
Yeah.
Just something inexplicable, as it's bound to happen. I do thank you all for coming on the holiday, especially. And before any of you can continue to like speak or address her, she has a 1,000-yard stare as she looks out into the Thames. And she looks at Rafe for a second. Do you have another cigarette?
Rafe takes his hat off and Mom, and he reaches into his vest, pulls out a pack. He fishes out a cigarette and offers it to her.
And she's not, and she hasn't activated Blush of Life or anything. But she takes it and you light it. She does not bring it to her mouth. She just has it in her hand, just letting the coils of smoke rise up into the clear night. And she sort of looks past all of you, almost like she doesn't even remember you're there for a second. You know, it's very interesting. The tower. Did you know that at the beginning of the war, they held a public trial for a German spy named Hans Lodi? He was part of the Imperial Navy, just a regular, mundane man, but he spoke English. He posed as an American through Scotland and Ireland. He wasn't built out for espionage, just a normal man thrust into extraordinary circumstances by the warring amongst the kind. And he wasn't meant for it. Just as all of us aren't meant for anything. The mundane becomes extraordinary. The extraordinary becomes mundane. And I think about how I got my wish, which was to die. But here I am. I still think. I still walk. I still see, though the visions are very different now. The normal man turned into a monster by war. And they praised him, you know, how forthright he was, because he knew he could not obfuscate the truth that was already known about him. And he tried, and he won a few hearts, even here in Britain, but he still met his end at the firing squad. And I do wonder what it was like to stare down the barrel, to see death so closely. I'm very envious of Mr. Lodi, and I do hope he's at peace. And she pauses. And it's at that point that she sort of comes back to the group. Now, Lillian, Lady Anne has said that you have a matter that needs my attention, possibly. Will you please explain?
Of course. So it would seem there is an odd sort of creature that is somehow still considered to be kindred, only it's not like you and I or Brave or Mr. Price or Tommy. It is more animalistic, like a giant bird, wings and
Oh,
all.
that's very unusual. Though I do recall some creations of the usurper clan before the prince removed them from London, or the ones that he could find. I do believe a gargoyle. So strange. Did the creature look like it was made of stone?
Storyteller, yes?
Yeah.
Thought so. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And we was able to sort of find out the origin of the creature, or at least a familial connector of older money that seemed to be somewhat controlling it, I think.
Yes, I would imagine that. I know some of them have their freedom, but now it must have a master in these nights. I don't suspect that he is singular. If there is one, there are likely others.
I have not seen others, just the one, but we did sort out that the connection is Bollingsworth. The
Yes. The glass,
mhm.
the wine, and the files for the usurpers. Still operating, I know, in the city, with facilities in the East End. I do recall the name, though, for something different entirely than the moves in their industry. There was a woman. There was a daughter of the Bollingsworth, a singular daughter. She never married, never had a child that was known. She carried the business for a number of years after her parents met a very unfortunate end by cholera. But it was my understanding that the business had fallen into the control of faceless corporations and companies. I don't believe there is a living Bollingsworth attached to the company anymore.
Perhaps not so much as an outward appearance, but perhaps, like many of our kind tend to do, they sort of renew themselves as in the manner of taking on new names, sometimes new faces.
Yes, you're quite right. I suppose I thought nothing of it, just another maneuvering of the kind in London to scrape together sterling pounds to amass wealth. But I didn't suspect they could have anything to do with our society. This is very unusual. And you, she points to Walter. What do you know? What clan is yours?
We are the clan of the beast, the gangrel, madam.
Oh, yes. Quite strong, but quite lonely.
We
Quite
seek to build
strong.
our tribe.
Of course. And your loyalty has always lain with one another. And what do you make of this creature? Did you speak to it?
I did not, madam. He is strong, and I hope to meet him again one day.
Did he have a name?
Time out. Did he have a name?
Yes.
Yes,
His
I
name
can't
is
remember.
his name is Eli.
Okay. I would have made me roll for it, but I'll go with Eli.
Oh, okay. Well, you get it for free.
Okay. Yes.
Eli. Strange. Oh, the prince. I do hope that my words will remain in this meeting, if I may be candid with you all. I worry that this information, that the fact that there is a creature, the horrifying unnatural progeny of the usurpers are flying around the prince's city, that this will send him into one of his bouts of paranoid madness. And we have had many victories recently, and I'm not sure that they would temper his anger. And I fear that the patches of London that don't normally enter his gaze will become his violent focus, and that there will be much bloodshed. I do worry what he will do when he receives this information. And she holds up the cigarette, now is like getting close to the end. And she kind of holds it and she lifts her up her arm and she closer and closer and closer to his arm. And then as soon as it gets like to where the heat could be felt on the arm, she goes and flicks it away. And then her eyes are wide and her hair is wild. And she looks at Tommy. Have you seen beyond the veil with this creature? Did you see anything like only we can see?
I have not, but hopefully soon something will come to me. But no, I haven't.
You must soon sit in a dark silence and comb through the cobweb. Perhaps in there lies an answer hidden away from your acquaintances. Only you can see, in the way that only the siblings of the moon can. And this is what we must do. I cannot yet tell the prince. It is yet too early. You must find the creature. You must extract the information, and you must destroy it and all others like it. I worry about the destruction that goes on outside of the prince's gaze, to places that he thinks he can ignore. But there wounds fester and creatures emerge that would pose a threat to his domain. So we must move in silence for now. And she stares out again into the Thames. Is there any other information that you have that may be related or connected to the creature?
not so much information
I
of
thought-
that sort, but I could say perhaps it could be a bit helpful to know that the creature itself was dull, slow-witted,
As they
easily
often are.
manipulated.
Well, needs must for a creature with a stringent master. His only loyalty is to him or her that brought him into existence, and to no other. Though, as you say, they are susceptible to the powers of the mind. In any case, this must be connected. I did receive a report from the Nosferatu that they have seen things in the sky, and also that there is trouble at the hospitals and the clinics beyond that of the flu. Do you also know of this?
That is where we encountered the first one.
It was trying to kill one of the physicians there. Would not take no for an answer.
And another physician confided in me that these attacks were widespread throughout the city. So either this one is busy or there's more.
I see. Something is unfolding here. The scope is much larger than I think any of us realizes. Because without the doctors, who takes care and heals the members of the mortal herd, the ones we use for sustenance in our own life? That is concerning indeed, and I believe this is all connected, like the strands of a tapestry, all coming together to create a picture, a portent of grave danger to the kindred of blood. And this must be dealt with swiftly and in the shadows. So this is what I would like you to do. Continue with your contacts that you have received. Follow the leads that you possess. Every corner must be searched. Every bit of rot sought out. And perhaps we can resolve it before the prince becomes aware and before his sustenance begins to wane in number. Do you have anything else you would like to tell me or ask me in this night?
Who has information that we can use against gargoyles? What is their bane? Is there a subject matter expert?
As I said, the usurpers are not welcome in the London of the Prince. But there is always one lurking, and I will have to search my own contacts. But because you are in East London, You should continue to work with your established contacts there. The Nosferatu.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Oh no, I was like, Walter's getting a little impatient. I look at Rafe,
Yeah.
and I'm like, we got to talk to your Nosferatu guy.
Right, and actually,
if there's a Tremere, he'll know about it.
actually, Mom, if you don't mind, real quick, speaking of the Nosferatu, I do not wish to take up too much of your time. There is going to be a gang attack tonight between the Broken Mouths, led by the Underprince. They're going to wage war against the Bloody Fists, and it sounds like it's gonna be quite the show tonight, Mom. If you have other people around that might be able to keep an eye out on the streets, just for the masquerade's concern, might not be a bad idea.
Yes, I shall set my cousins to it. And other of my Nosferatu contacts. And I will remain in East London, hidden, to keep an eye on it. But the Underprince is very capable. And an attack, this will mean nothing to the prince. He has waged war on the largest scale. He has seen the rise and fall of empires, the beginning of Londinium itself. He will laugh if I ask for his help, or even just presenting the information. His rage is simmering beneath always. But you are right that we need caution as the attack unfolds, and thus I will put my agents to work, and they will listen to me. And we will monitor and intervene if it becomes necessary. The gangs are like rats and bugs at war in the filth. It always ends in the blood and the dirt. And that is all. They destroy each other. And then there is nothing left. I will continue to seek out information. And I will be in contact, Lillian, with you as the situation unfolds. But as I said, you will follow the leads that you have been given. And we will put a stop to any further destruction or threats, even to the poorest kind. Is that satisfactory to you?
Of course.
And she looks at Tommy once again. I urge you to seek out answers in your mind and the minds of your cousins. For we
Yes.
see what is hidden.
Yes, Mom.
And we will meet again, Tommy. You have seen many terrible things, and I worry that the last spark of light is about to go out. And it's at that point that she obfuscates and disappears into the night. And that is where we will end our current session. Thanks for the claps. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome job. Awesome job.
Yeah, really fun one. Thank you all. Thank you to everyone at home. This was a really, really good one for me. Lots of fun. I hope you all were entertained and enjoyed it. Let us go around to our players and have them tell us a little bit about what they're doing and where you can find them and all that good stuff. So we'll start again with Ben.
My name is Ben. I am here with Martlet Games. I'm not on the socials and I don't really have anything else going on, but keep coming back and watching this chronicle.
Great.
Hi, Patrick Gill. I am the creative director of this wonderful little group that you see in front of you. We are in this weird time warp. I don't even want to know what is going to be current and relevant.
Who knows
right
what
now.
will be going on then? Yeah.
But I know Vancouver adjacent isn't going anywhere anytime soon. We're probably going to be, we'll say probably halfway through season 2 by the time we get to this episode, maybe ish, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Let's see. But yes, Martlet Games. We are as of April, whenever. Or actually, no, this was back in March. We are now a legitimate business. We are going to be working our wretched little buns off, trying to create as much wonderful, entertaining content that we can for everybody. There's just so much friggin' going on right now. I don't even know where to start with what.
Leave it a mystery.
Yes, just
check out the socials.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes, check out social media links. I will make sure. I will make sure that I will have a stream bot set up in time for this. So there's that. But yes, that is it for me. Onward and upward.
Hi, everybody. Samantha McLarty. I was the classy Ventru, Lillian Crawford, and I am enjoying my time with Martlet. I'm going to be doing all kinds of fun stuff with them. All of us, just going to be doing all kinds of fun stuff. I'm in the works on starting to do rewrites for the LARP that unfortunately was postponed due to COVID, and bringing these guys on board with that to help out with that if they want to. And Vancouver adjacent by night. I have no fucking clue what else I'm going to be doing, but hey, I got a link tree that should be hopefully in the chat. If you are brave enough to try to remember, you can search just S McLarty. Otherwise, just hit the link tree and everything is laid out. Patreons, YouTubes, all of it. It's on there.
Good stuff.
And I am Stephen Rieger. I am a creative partner of Martlet Games. I've brought Tommy the Malkavian to life here. Because of the time warp that we live in at this point in time. Got a few projects coming down the pipeline. If you haven't seen them and they've already come out, go see them. If they haven't come out, wait, they'll come out. Just be ready for the content that we're going to be bringing out for Martlet.
Cool. Thank you. And I am Sara. I'm also a creative partner at Martlet Games. I'm now also a part of the Vancouver family by night. That I'm in the new series Vancouver by Night Delve into Darkness, which is on Saturdays at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, and it's part of the Saturday Takeover, where you can also find Vancouver adjacent right after that. And then the very fun Philly by Night Chronicle, run by Prince, directly after that. So it's a really, really high quality Vampire Saturday that I really encourage you to check out. I encourage you to catch up on Vancouver adjacent as well. Has been an absolutely incredible series, and I'm playing a very atypical Tremere in the Vancouver crew, one of the usurpers, as I mentioned, and I'm having just a great time doing that, and I think that's going to unfold really, really well. So check me there. You can find me at MC Diabetes on the social media. Twitter is mainly where you'll find me, mainly just retweeting what my friends are doing and the projects that I'm in. So you can find me there. And I do just want to thank everybody again for joining me on my flagship Chronicle. It means a lot that you watch. It means a lot that my players put their trust in a first time ST, especially for a recorded Chronicle. So I really thank all the players from the bottom of my heart, and anyone that's enjoying the Chronicle. And go watch the VODs or the YouTube if you haven't seen the other ones of London. There's a lot of other good stuff, really great interactions between all the players. So I encourage you to get caught up if you haven't already. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you all next time. So please join us again for session 6. Take care of yourselves and the ones you love, and we will see you next time at Martlet Games. Okay,
Check out the
bye.
Patreons.
Yes.
So that you can see all
Patreon.
the cool afterward like chit chats and stuff. Because
Good call.
Yes.
Absolutely good call.
Check out the
on that.
Patreons
Yes.
because
Patreon.
we talk about all kinds of crazy shit and behind the scenes stuff. Hit that up.
Yes.
Absolutely. Very fun. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.